has been paid for by the New World Order.
They ain't wearing Christian.
Good evening. Welcome to the Couchcasters podcast. I'm your host, Jeff, co-host Hunter, co-host Parker. What's up, boys? Rough weekend this weekend for our beloved Tide, but, you know, the sun did rise the next day. Here we are. Still eating and breathing, so
Indeed.
It is what it is. What's up, boys?
I'll still give a roll Tide.
I'll give a roll Tide.
Always.
To the end of my days, roll Tide. I'll never give up on my Tide. So,
Right.
and I'll go ahead and say that for all those Bama fans out there who want to just go ahead and write us off, go ahead and want to fire the coach. You know what? You got me fired up tonight, and I really, really am going to grill all your butts tonight, so you better get ready.
I mean, Bama Nation has turned on the quarterback, on the coach, on the coordinators. It's turned on everybody. 7 games into this first season.
Spoiled.
Am I happy with how we looked Saturday? No.
No, and who would be? It's hard to watch.
Can we be upgraded in several areas? Yes.
Yes.
This head coach is not one of them. So now everybody's freaking out about Ryan Williams and what's his name faking jump shots during the QB sneak.
I just saw that before I hopped on. I didn't realize that even happened.
It was rough.
It didn't look good, but it wasn't like they didn't block somebody because they were doing that. There was nobody to block. They were just out there as players on the field. They had nothing to do with the play. I mean, it doesn't look good if we won, 41-20, we'd be laughing about that, saying how much fun the boys are having under DeBoer. But we lost, and now it's like he has no control. It's a madhouse, no discipline. Everybody does whatever they want, blah blah blah. Even though nobody on Twitter is in the locker room,
I think
that's doing all this, putting all this hate out. I don't know.
Rough weekend, boys. Love to say.
But the vitriol turned on the staff and on the quarterback. Yes, the quarterback is limited. I think we're seeing the ceiling of the quarterback. It's not a shot at him. It's just he just doesn't play the position well enough at the level that needs to be played to compete in the SEC, in my opinion, to beat elite teams, especially now the playoffs are expanded. You can't have a limited passer.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, Jeff, but I almost feel like it's not even like a ceiling. It's almost like a regression. And I've stuck by Milroe from the beginning, even when everybody was hooting and hollering about putting Buckner in. I stuck by Milroe.
I'll say that Hunter did. I can go back to he did. He did say.
I remember that.
And man, I've been befuddled about how do you go from a serious Heisman contender who was just electrifying to watch in the first part of our season to just whatever we saw on Saturday. It's just I feel like if anything, that's what's bummed me out the most. Is like, man, what happened?
An overachievement.
Yeah.
I talked about this with Jeff recently, actually, is since that first half of that Georgia game, this team has not been the same. And it has been a complete, to your point, a regression in all facets of the game. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's certain players who are not playing to their certain, stature. I mean, we got good players all over the field, guys.
Yeah.
It's not like it's unknown. It's not like these guys suck. Now, some of them, yes, to Jeff's point, yes, some of them are limited in their positions. Yeah. And I think, we're seeing that to the point with Milroe. I mean, but to the point, I'll also say this. Milroe does not need to be passing the ball 50 times. That's not the kind of quarterback he is. So what are you doing? Like why not run more plays as giving it to the running back? I just don't understand some of the stuff going on.
We're 5 yards from the goal line and we want to throw it. And I'm like,
well, and y'all had mentioned the little jump pass thing with the wide receivers. I, on the other hand, am just baffled by that. I was like, if they're going to do that, just put 2 more tight ends in there, okay? And give us your more blocking or something. At least I would have understood that. But now looking back at that, to Jeff's point, if we had been up 20-something points and they did that, okay. We were within, I think, we had the lead at that point. But they may have had the lead by.
I mean, he got the first down on the sneak. It wasn't like the play got blown up, and it just didn't look good because we lost. That's really what it comes down to.
I wasn't a big fan of it, and
most haven't been. I'm in the minority there.
But that's the great thing about what we do here. Is everybody's got their own opinion and everybody can say what they want to say, and I'm not going to say that and I'm not going to say that opinion is wrong. It's your opinion, and I think it's perfectly okay. I understand at the time and where we're looking at it as of today, but that really is a small miscue of all of it, because we got much greater issues at hand here, and it's not. And I'll say this. I'm not even going to say it's just with Alabama. I have watched, we are almost week 9, and I have seen some glaring issues with many, many teams, and it could have cost them games where, it did cost Alabama. This Alabama team could be 3-4, 4-3 right now. There's other teams out there who could have lost other games. LSU could have lost another one to South Carolina. Where would they be right now had they lost that game?
That's true.
So, guys, you're getting Parker a little irritated right now, because in this day and age, I get it. There's so much expectation that all these Bama fans nowadays, they want to say, "Oh, well, he's lost 2 games." Well, guess what? Transition year from a guy who was there for 17 years. Change is inevitable. There are going to be growing pains. This team, it's a transition year. We got players from the old regime and the new regime. What do you want? I'm literally to the point where I'm writing off certain Bama fans because, yes, I'll be the first one to say and honest one to say that I benefited living through the Saban era. Absolutely. But I'm not an unrealistic person to say that these changes and heartaches and pains weren't going to happen. Grow up and realize that this is what it is. And especially in NIL era, I don't care what the certain players, certain statements made by players' parents or certain players. I get it. We're in the era of, social media, and I get it. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody knows my opinion on everybody's opinion. Maverick knows best, aka, sorry. Maverick's getting a little intrusive here on some of his statements. So we'll go back to being Parker. But we're looking at like this. When I see certain statements as saying, oh, well, we're giving every other weekend to certain players, to our kids, the sacrifices that you have to make. And I understand that to an extent, but we're not to the point where we were 6 years ago or 5 years ago. Players are making money. Some of them are making more than some of these coaches. And I understand the sacrifices you have to make as a family to go and see some of these teams or see some of your kids go and play sports, travel ball, playing football all around, playing basketball all around. But now guess what? They're making money. And yes, I know some of them aren't making the big cash like all the stuff is being made out to be. That's why there needs to be a regulation of this. There's going to be different tiers, and that's the way it is. There are players who are better than your sons. There are players who are better than your daughters. Okay, that is just how it is. Hey, I didn't play college football. I wasn't very good. Okay, that's That's life. Okay, I mean, or I didn't play any college sports. How many players from high school end up actually playing Division I sports? They got aspirations, but guess what? You put all of it into one pot, as I call it. But at the end of the day, how many of them are actually making it to that next level? And then after that, how many of them are making it to the professional level? Maybe some looking in the mirror and getting that reflection and finding understanding. I know I'm all over the place right now, but guys, this weekend, not even just the Bama game, has got me fired up. So I'm sorry. I went on a rant there. Y'all take it away.
No, there were some good games this weekend, for real. Like that Texas-Georgia game was started as a wax, but it wound up being pretty good. Hell, Sark yanked Ewers in that game.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see that.
Like, why is the quarterback of the undefeated #1 team not safe, but ours is? Like, why does Sark have the balls to make that move when
Honestly,
he needs it?
Props
like,
to
why
Sark.
can't
That's a bold
Debo
call.
do that? Man, we got a struggling QB, can't hit his ass with either hand. Let's try to change it up. Let's make the switch. Obviously, Jalen's might be dinged up. I mean, he was basically shot putting the ball Saturday, so I don't know if he's got a bum shoulder. He took a hit in that South Carolina game. Got up, wincing a little bit. Was moving a little bit. So maybe he's dinged somewhere. Maybe he's dinged somewhere else. I mean, everybody's dinged at this point in the season, but
I mean, Jaden Roberts is playing hurt, so there's another one.
No other explanation as to how you could miss that many open throws as bad as he missed them. I mean, he's not that bad. That was Buckner-like the way he was throwing it. That's
what's boggling my mind. I'm like, I'm trying to look for the logical explanation of what happened.
He has to be battling something
that we just do not know about. But there's even the few plays where, and Ryan Williams, yeah, he's a fun player to watch, great wide receiver, he's going to have a great career. But sometimes if he's in double to triple coverage, don't throw to him. It's like
there were so many guys open yesterday. Dupree was open all day.
Dupree, Gurmey, like these are great wide receivers, and we just
Bernard was in single coverage because they were boxing Rhino. They were focusing on Williams because that's all Milroe was throwing to, and
20 attempts.
It looked like Bernard was just running single all day.
Yeah,
20 attempts. The guy almost passed for 50.
He's trying to get him killed
times and passed to it 20 times. That's
170-pound kid. Throw him 20 targets at Tennessee, and they were punishing him every time he caught the ball. They were basically DDTing him into the turf.
And that's what kind of concerned me going into the game before the game even started. It's like, knowing Tennessee, if they start losing, they'll just start injuring you. I thought we should have limited Ryan Williams from the get-go. And not that I ever wish our other players get harmed, but Gurmey.
You spread it around. They can't. Yeah.
Well, that's why
three guys.
Everybody's getting triple coverage because they know that's who you're throwing to. Don't bother about these other guys. They ain't getting the ball. They're going to be shooting hoops, apparently.
Why did he throw him 20 targets? He wasn't open half of them. He caught 8 out of 20. Ryan Williams caught 8 out of 20 targets. What does that tell you? He didn't drop 12 passes. It's like you sit there and watch that one play, Parker, we were talking about earlier, where the Red Sea parts on the left, and if he jogs, he gets 15 yards. If he runs like he can, he gets 40, or he can flip it to the guy that's running right across him wide open, and he doesn't do either. He throws it this way.
That's why there's something else.
I'm like, what are you
going on?
What am I missing here?
There's something else that's got to be going on. There's
20 targets? 20?
And it's to the point that we also said, the guy he's not a pocket passer. This isn't Tom Brady, okay? The guy's not sitting back in the pocket. Now, I'll say this. Now, the offensive line on a couple things, they did get absolutely messed up on. But to give him the ability to almost pass it 50 times is quite impressive. I will say that. But to the point, he should have never even been put in that position to begin with. You know what? You're
playing Russian roulette by making Pritchett block a rusher 50 times. You know what I mean? Like the right side of the line struggled. That's why you saw 56 and 75 in there some, but the right side struggled.
Wilkin Formby.
You know, and
Jeff knows my statements on
he
that.
didn't have a bad game. We didn't call his name once. Like we didn't say, damn it, Formby. You know, we didn't say his name once.
He came in there and he played okay. I'll say Formby came in there and played okay. Pritchett did get whipped a couple times, but he held his own. But honestly, you know what? I'm just gonna go away for a little bit. It's gonna be a little while. I got to go away. I'll be away.
And then just to talk about Tennessee on the other side, I thought we lucked out a lot in that first half, where there's a few times where their quarterback was actually throwing some dimes and they just slapped at their hands. It's like, man, that could have been a 20 to 30-yard game right there. And we just lucked out. And by the second half, they finally started figuring out how to catch the ball or wrap their fingers around it at least. So I thought we were getting lucky.
Man, and it's like, no matter who they put in there at DB, whether it's Red, whether it was Smitty, whether it was Sab, or who's the safety, but whether it's Bach, whoever, they're all getting cooked.
Yeah.
They get blown by, every one of them. And I thought, Bach's got speed, man. I don't understand why guys are just blowing past him.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe this guy can help.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
You know what grinds my gears?
But you see, the Rock has already answered this time and time again.
What the hell is going on, man?
Grind your gears, buddy.
Know your role and shut your mouth because the people's champ is ready to talk.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hang on, Maverick. I'll get to you, Maverick.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? Y'all doing okay? No fear, no feedback. I can't hear nothing. Oh, goodness.
The floor is yours, Maverick.
Oh, the floor is mine. Oh, that's what it is.
What's on your
The one and behold.
He's trying to give you the floor.
Sorry.
Read this.
Sorry. Stepped away for a bit. I cannot help it. Some days, you know what really grinds my gears, gentlemen, is the fact of the matter is today's era of college football.
It's different.
It ain't right.
It's different.
It ain't right. Where's the composure? Where's the poise? Where's the passion? Where's the loyalty? Anybody got any answer for me? No.
That's very thin nowadays. There are a few outliers, but for the most part, it's not really that anymore. It's just free agency.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this season ends. Because Maverick knows and Maverick is wise. Maverick's going to give you a couple insights here. You think Alabama is the only team battling these certain issues out there? No, it's not the case. I've seen it. Foreseen it. It's been foreseen for the last 3 or 4 years, okay, people? If you're unknown to it, you're oblivious to it. If you are known to it, you're a part of it. So guess what? This is not what college football was intended to be, people. These people who care about their teams, actual college universities, now it's all about the almighty dollar, right? Let's see how much we can bring in. Ohio State, how many millions of dollars they spent on their team, and they did lose to Oregon, but I still fully expect them to have a chance to have a shot at the national title. I got a really, really big issue that's going on with, well, if you don't pay me, I'm just going to sit out the rest of the year. Or if you don't pay me this X amount of dollars, I'm going to fake an injury, or I'm not going to give it my all, or, I'm going to have this sense of entitlement where I'm going to act like a jackass right on the field and kick a football or throw a punch and say, it's all about me. I don't give a shit. Excuse my friend. Sorry, everybody out there. This is a family-friendly show. I'm sorry. I don't care about your feelings on this. You want to make it personal, go play golf. Go play golf. It's an option. It's an option. Maverick is pissed, all right? All right? Because the fact of the matter is, this isn't 2 years ago when we're talking about the fixes in the Tennessee game, where we actually got hosed in the game. Now, there were a couple bad calls, that does happen. What the matter, everything that's going on is, where's the effort? Why am I saying this? Anybody got an idea? Anybody?
These are good questions. Mavericks not. I mean, it's a new world. It's a brave new world, and things that were even a year or two ago are no longer.
I think it's proof that nobody's safe either.
Nobody is safe. I mean, now the precedent is, I'm happy. I'm just going to quit after 4 games and redshirt. First of all, if you quit, you don't get no damn redshirt. If you quit, you're out. You've used up your year of eligibility. You don't get to just magically redshirt because you're mad you're not getting enough snaps. Right? I mean, well, so what? He still gets to, we still pay for his school the rest of the year, even though he quit on the team?
Yeah.
No, if you quit on your team,
He's on
you
football
pay your
scouting
stuff
and quit.
back. Because what are these other kids who are actually going to school to get their engineering degree, to get their business degree? Are they paying their stuff back for their loans? No, they're paying. Some of them are actually still paying them 10 years down the road. So why are we allowing this to happen? People, wake up. At least put a structure to it. But, Jeff and I talked about it earlier. You've opened a can of worms. You can't put it back.
Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, man. Should have had somewhere to catch the toothpaste when you let it out.
I mean, yeah, the NCAA is not going to do anything. I mean,
No,
they butchered that, and now
this
is the world we're in, and
this is the same organization that waits for their coaches to go to the NFL to give out their punishment. Like they just, they're not going to do anything.
Their relevance left about 10 years ago.
Well, if he ever comes back, he's suspended. Yeah, he's not coming back. Okay.
Not coming back, pal. It's like, what's his name? That old director that's can't come back in the United States, so he just Roman Polanski, so he just moved to France and I'll just stay here the rest of my life. I don't have to go back to the U.S. I don't care. He's like a wanted fugitive. So the second he flies back into America and gets off the plane, he gets he's gonna get arrested. So he's like,
no extradition, right? Is that what we're talking about here?
And he's like, I'm fine. I'll stay over here.
Well, if you ever do, don't worry about it. I'm not going.
Yeah, I'll send somebody else. It's fine.
All I can say is this, gentlemen, is I'm just, and this is not even talking about Alabama, just the state of college football and seeing where players can just, as we've already stated, just give up in the middle of the season because things aren't going right or they're not getting their touches or their money that they've been so and so promised. And I know that there's, excuse me,
it ticks me off.
I know there's some egregious stuff going on out there, and I know a lot of these numbers and people are not getting paid on these agreed amounts. I know that is going on, and is it a terrible side of the game? Yes, but this is the game that it is nowadays. And what do you have to do? You need to figure out and become more educated in some of those situations so this does not continue to happen. Or, as Jeff and I've talked about numerous times, regulation. you got to get a structure back into this. Now, obviously, it's a lot harder to do. It's a lot harder to do now. You're not going to get it all back into that tube of toothpaste, as Jeff would say, or that can. I think a tier system is going to be in play where the top 15, profitable universities, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, all those big name teams are going to be in their own tier. And then you have tiers below that because you try and compare a budget that Georgia Southern has to Clemson or Georgia Southern has to Georgia. It's not even the same stratosphere, and it's not even comprehensible, really. But I do think everybody deserves their fair shake on players, but players are going to have their own idea of going to where they're going to make the most money. So,
they should. That's what you're supposed to do is maximize your value while you can. They're not doing anything wrong. They're just playing the system that is out there.
The NFL certainly got its divas. Like we just saw Devontae Adams basically fake a hamstring injury and then go to the Jets. But then guess what? It actually starts to eat crow that first game with the Jets. It doesn't do anything. I think
second half.
We call the NFL the no fun league, but there's a reason they're the cream of the crop. They've got it figured out from a business standpoint and from entertainment.
Right.
And I also like the idea of like the Browns or even the Giants punishing the teams for dumb management because they're paying players way too much money that did not deserve it whatsoever. And then guess what? When that player's a problem, guess what? You sign a contract. You have to eat crow or get somebody else to eat crow and take them off your hands.
Yeah. That's the problem. Is that there's always somebody that will, and so they never change the way they never change their attitude because there's always going to be somebody.
Yeah. So like it holds the team accountable as well to where you can't just throw endless amounts of money and when it doesn't work out, it's okay. We'll just get rid of them. It's like no, you sign a contract, so you have to be punished for it. Like Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones.
You can get rid of them, but you're going to have to pay the contract still. So getting rid of them is not going to save you any money.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I talked with Jeff on this numerous times about contracts. Having that obligation. When you sign that letter of commitment to your university in college, I'd say, because of today's age, I would love to say 2 years, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I'd say you've got a 1-year contract. And if you decide, I'd say after coming out of high school, it should be 2, just because that's the one who's vested. A lot of those teams have vested in you for so long. And then after the fact, you've got free will. Now, if you want to leave your freshman year, that's fine. You got to pay back everything that you pay or that they've paid you in, name, image, and likeness. Scholarship, one thing, and nowadays I really just don't know. There's just so much unknown when it comes to the value of a scholarship and what it actually does.
Well, there's also like performance based of like you get X amount of yards, you get bonuses and stuff like that. That's always a case by case basis, though.
Yeah, that's been those under the table envelopes full of cash transactions for so many years now. It's like taxable
when Cam Newton came back to the Panthers and it was like all like performance based. It's like, oh yeah,
like had like a 1 year $5,000 contract. They had like $7.5 million in incentives if he hit them all.
Yeah, that was when Cam he still has all his pride.
Yeah, that's not something you ever got to worry about.
Yeah,
and then he whipped 4 guys' ass at that flag football tournament he was hosting, or that whatever that tournament was.
They jumped him.
Like 4 guys jumped him, and he whipped 4 guys.
Yep.
So hey, man, do what you got to do, right? So on a different note, we have a classic World Series for the books. This is, for those of you that aren't baseball fans, this is a big deal World Series, man. These are like the 2 blue blood, so to speak, baseball programs. I know the Red Sox and the Reds and all that are, go a long ways back, Cubs too, but man, Yankees, Dodgers, dude, the Hall of Famers that come from each of these teams, both originally from New York, Brooklyn was the Dodgers' home for all those years before they moved to LA. So, I mean, the Dodgers came from New York.
Mhm.
The Yankees are New York. I mean, what a World Series. I mean, of course, I'm a big Yankee fan, so I'm excited. Y'all knew I'm pulling for. So I've had it was fun watching these playoff games. Normally the Yankees haven't been anywhere close to this in quite a while.
Over a decade. Over
19,
a decade.
they were in the ALCS against Houston, got swept. We weren't really even close. I'd say 17, we got to Game 7 of the ALCS and lost to the Astros, probably the closest we've been since 09. We actually won it. So it's pretty cool for me. It was fun watching that Guardian series. There were some clutch moments, man.
There's something about October baseball that just hits different.
It hits different. And when superstars answer the bell, Judge has had a rough postseason, but Stanton has been one of the clutchest hitters I've seen. That bomb Soto hit in the 10th inning the other night was one of the best at bats I've ever seen in my life. That was one of the greatest at bats I've ever seen in my life. Fouled off like 8 pitches. The guy for the Guardians was nasty, man. He was shoving it, man. He was nasty. And Soto's just taking these whack swings, just fouling it off, waiting for him to throw him a fastball. And then he threw him a fastball and didn't throw it high enough. And wonderful, marvelous.
Gone. See ya. Bye-bye next to you.
In the center field bleachers and sent the Yankees to the World Series. That was hype as I've been over a baseball game in a while. I was pretty excited about that, especially considering Bam had lost a few hours earlier. So I was really needing the Yankees to come through for me.
I'll admit I was low-key kind of proving for the Mets to pull it out to have the Subway Series there.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have been really great. The rest of the country would not have cared at all.
No.
It would have just
you're right.
Just New York.
That would have been cool. Subway Series would have been pretty cool. Logistically, I'm sure the Yankees are like, son of a, now we got to fly out to LA.
Yeah.
So that starts Friday night, Game 1 from Dodger Stadium. I think Garrett Cole's going for the Yankees. I'm not sure who Game 1 start will be for the Dodgers. Jack Flaherty, maybe.
And to think that the Dodgers got there without Shohei pitching the whole year. Is that right?
Well, he just raked unbelievable. Year. He just went nuts with the bat, so that helps.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked if he puts up a season next year like he did this year if he's pitching 30, if he makes 30 starts. That's a lot of his body broke down last year doing it.
Yeah, that's just tough.
No, the guy is a phenomenal, a generational talent. The guy can play ball. That's all I can say about that.
We're gonna have a debate show on this when Fonzie's in because he's a baseball guy. But we're gonna have a debate show about Judge v. Ohtani. And I'm probably in the minority opinion that I don't think just because Ohtani pitches makes him unquestionably the best player in the league.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is something to be said for playing center field 160 times when you're 6'7", 280. Running around center field 160 times. There is something to be said for that.
Genetics.
But anyway, but you can't. But I mean, like I said, you can't deny the greatness. But
absolutely.
The opinion that it's unquestionably Ohtani's the best, the best player on the planet, I think is debatable.
And how many home runs?
I think a case can be made
was
for
it
Judge.
2 years ago? Did Judge hit 64 in a year?
62.
Home runs? 62. Gotcha. Broke Roger Maris's record, if I'm not mistaken.
His American League record. Yeah, he's making a run at it this year. He would have blown past it this year, but he went homerless for 19 straight games towards the end of at the middle of September, middle of September, I think. But he went 19 straight without a home run, longest ever in his career, and that slowed his pace down tremendously. And he wound up with 58. He had a pretty monster year, like a 1.2 OPS. That's ridiculous. Well, I mean, having a 1. OPS for a whole season is ridiculous. Having a 1.2 is just stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stupid. Slugged 700? Come on. You can't do that.
And how old is Judge now?
32.
Okay. Barring any major injuries, he's still got at least, 2-3 years in the tank. I would say.
Yeah, he's got about 2 or 3 prime years left. He's got 8 years left on his deal. He signed that 9-year contract. He'll wind up DHing, probably towards the end. I guess. And then part of me is like, what numbers would Judge put up if you just DH'd him the whole season? If he didn't have to play any of the field? I mean, he'd put up probably same numbers. I mean, playing the field doesn't seem to affect him. I mean, he's nasty. But this is a great matchup for Fox. They're happy about it, getting the top 2 players in baseball, Judge and Ohtani. I think it's those two and everybody else. Although Bobby Witt Jr. is making a case for being, up in that echelon of players. But I think it's Ohtani, Judge, or 1 and 2, or 2 and 1, depending on who you ask.
It's the two teams that spent the most money.
Bingo.
Did Harper not have a good year? Bryce Harper?
I mean, he had an okay year. It wasn't an elite season, but he had a pretty good
not
year.
His best, but yeah, he was still good.
He was really hot for a while, and then he cooled off, towards the end. But he still had a pretty good season. I don't think he knocked in 100 runs.
No, they just pulled
But
Braves.
he still had a pretty decent season.
Yeah,
he still had a pretty decent season. But I think it's it's the National League's best team and the American League's. I mean, by record, the Dodgers were the best team in the National League, and by record, the Yankees were the best team in the American League. And here they are in the World Series. So this is going to be a fun World Series. I hope it's a good one. I mean, if the Yankees swept, I wouldn't be upset. But I just wanted to hope it's a good World Series. I think it has a potential to be a classic with these two teams, with the two best players in the game.
I think that in itself will kind of even out the series. Yeah. And back to what I said, there's something about October baseball that just hits different. And I always say to people that struggle to watch baseball, it's like, just wait till October. And Parker, I would almost argue the same for hockey if you're ever trying to get into hockey.
I was just about to say that.
Soon.
I was literally about to say that, Hunter. That's funny that you said that.
Yeah, that's when they become
totally different.
Fine to watch.
As I said,
completely
Hunter,
different.
I watched y'all's first match, actually. Just a little bit of it, the very first match of the season, because I saw the banner drop and all of that happen. And it was quite interesting to watch, considering I have no idea what in the world is going on. Yeah. I think they won that
banner drop games always make me nervous because your team's going to get waxed.
Yeah.
It's almost like a guaranteed ass kicking when you drop the banner and give the rings that night, and then they go out and lose by 30.
Yeah.
They did win. Okay. So I was thinking,
maybe it's different in hockey. In basketball, when they lower the banner and pass out the rings and stuff, they can lose
by 30.
Team loses by 30 or 40.
Yeah. 1,000%. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Luckily, we still own the Bruins. So
that's all that matters. That's really all that on this show we care about is owning the Bruins, because
as long as Boston knows who their daddy is, it's
it's even better that a team from the ice cold frigid Boston is owned by a team from South Florida. Those guys came off South Beach into the arena to practice.
That's
Boston can practice outside.
I love saying it. It makes everybody so upset. Like Scott, oh yeah, the hockey capital of the world, Florida.
They do have a pile of Stanley Cups between y'all and Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
There is multiple cups residing in Florida between those two teams.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey world, wake up, figure it out. Good gosh.
Yeah, I mean it's playoff hockey is a different animal. If you don't watch hockey, watching the playoffs, it's something else.
It's so fun, so
it's
good,
so good. It's really, really good. Just like baseball, playoff baseball is different, man. The guys up their competition, they up their adrenaline. A lot of guys answer especially the pitchers.
Yeah.
Everybody gives everybody crap for struggling in the postseason if you're a hitter, but you gotta sit there and go, man, these pitchers are elite. I mean, these guys are elite pitchers pitching at an even more elite level due to the stakes. When you're in ALCS or World Series, guys aren't throwing 91. They usually throw 91. They're throwing 96. Snapping off 91 mile an hour cutters. They're throwing 95 mile an hour cutters now. guys get amped up for the postseason. So I mean, it's hard to hit anyway, but it's hard to hit elite pitching in the postseason. It's hard.
Yeah, like last Thursday, I tried to watch Thursday Night Football, maybe got through the first quarter and just flipped to the Dodgers-Mets game. I was like, I'd much rather watch this.
So much better.
You weren't missing
Yeah,
anything.
it was.
Speaking of Thursday
It
Night
was.
Football, going to NFL, hats off to Jeff's Steelers this weekend.
Yeah.
Getting another win with Russell.
Don't screw
Wilson.
around and let Pittsburgh find a passing game.
Props to
We haven't had
Tomlin
one in
too
like
for
4
putting
years.
Russell Wilson in. Yeah.
As
knew
what
it
he
was gonna be
said,
a controversial call.
this is what I'm compensated for, is what I heard the statement was. So I was like, yeah, okay.
Kudos to Tomlin for doing that, for stepping back, going, okay, Fields got us to 4-2. He's limited here, though. If we're going to get to the next level, if we're going to compete at the next level, we need a passing game. And Russ, and to his credit, Russ was named the starter out of camp, and then he got hurt the week of the first game.
Yeah.
Pushing a sled. Why is pushing a sled 4 days before the first game? I don't know. Speaking of grinds my gears.
What was it? He was in bed with his cleats on. What was it, practice?
Yes.
That
He's
guy's
a weirdo, but if he
He's
Oh
a
my
weird
God.
guy. He's a weird
What a
dude.
He's a weird
Psycho.
guy. But if he keeps throwing those teardrops that George Pickens hauls in, I don't care what he does. He can sleep in 3 pairs of cleats. I don't care. Just do. But we needed that win. That was a big time win. We needed that. I did see Tua supposed to practice this week.
Yep, and he refuses to wear the Guardian cap apparently. So that's
Yeah, no.
The
He's
CT
like,
is
I'm gonna
all
make.
warm.
He's like, I'm gonna. We
He's like, it looks
strapped
ridiculous.
on every
I'm not gonna
weekend.
wear it.
He's like, I was when
But
I
you
heard
have
the
scramble
statement,
brains. I don't care. It looks ridiculous. I'm not wearing it.
He's like, we put it on
The
every
only player
day.
in the league that probably needs it the most is the one that refuses to wear it.
If anybody needed 3 of them, it's probably Tua.
Yeah. The Antonio Brown guy, he makes a lot of sense. Let me reach that level.
He said that Antonio Brown guy, he makes a lot of sense,
I
I
need
was
to
talking
think
to
more
AB
like
the
him.
other day, and he really shed some light on something.
He made
I
me see
started
a lot
following
of
on
things
Twitter.
I
He makes
never
a lot of
thought.
good tweets.
You said, wait, what'd you just say? Did you just say you said you and AB? What? Yeah, it turns out he's a genius, man. He's really, really sharp. What?
It's so sad for the Dolphins right now. I think even with
It's bad.
everybody acknowledges that Tua probably should retire. But it's like at this point, it's like, man, literally just take anything. Just
I know the
That's
quarterback
how bad
play is
Tyler
so
Huntley
bad.
is.
They'll take scrambled egg to like they don't care.
yeah.
Well, you had a chance to go, at least attempt to go get like a Bryce Young or a Mac Jones or somebody, and you didn't do
Surprised
it.
nobody's gotten Mac Jones yet.
I'm very, very. I mean, he's got to
Might be
have at
maybe
least
like, no,
one.
I'm good.
To be honest.
He's
He may
got to
be
get
I'm
the
good.
old.
I'm home in Jacksonville. That's where I'm from. I got a lot of money. I'm chilling.
I think it's definitely that, but given how the Jaguars kind of saved their butt Sunday morning, but
Yeah.
you could very
They're
well
awful
take Trevor
too.
Lawrence's job.
They're worse than the freaking Dolphins.
And
I said that. I said that in the offseason when they signed Mac Jones. I was like, are we sure they didn't sign Mac Jones for something other than a backup? And I got eviscerated.
I would not be shocked if the
Fonzie
Dolphins
and Cam
did.
eviscerated me on that group text.
Yeah,
What were you saying,
Cam
Hunter?
loves
Sorry, I
to
didn't
do
interrupt
that.
you. I'm sorry.
I would not be shocked if the Dolphins did reach out low key to pick up Bryce Young, but apparently the Panthers just want. I mean, it's a first round pick, so they're going to want everything for it.
Right.
And they said, yeah, Bryce is still our quarterback, but we. I don't know. Panthers should.
What the actual hell does that even mean?
We would
what-
much rather.
that is the li-
die at this
The
garbage
worst
franchise.
organization. If you were ever thinking about getting drafted in the NFL, make sure you actually do slightly okay, but lose a couple games, so you don't have to get drafted by that organization, because they are dog water, people. They're awful, and they will ruin your career. They're awful.
I mean, at least with Jacksonville, you're near the beach. You got some.
Yeah.
something,
yeah. Good Lord.
Oh, I think he's from Jacksonville, isn't he? Mac Jones from Jacksonville?
Yeah, he's from
Yeah.
that. That's partly why he went there, and that's why I don't think he'll leave.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like,
Now, this will be actually kind of a fun debate for like the NFL's like what is the worst franchise? Because I would argue that the Cleveland Browns are probably the worst team.
No question. I don't even think that's debatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like just self-inflicted, It's just
It is
They
self.
gave a rapist $230 million.
yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's how. And they gave away Baker Mayfield, who's now balling out in
Tampa Bay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. In order to sign that guy for $230 million, they had to get rid of Baker.
Yeah. But what's also fun about Baker Mayfield is that let's not forget he was with the Carolina Panthers for a hot second and was on the freaking O-line as a left tackle. Because they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, and the Rams. He was on the Rams too. He was terrible for both teams.
Well,
Rams
at least with the Rams, they let him play quarterback, and he didn't know the playbook 2 hours beforehand, and still won the game.
That's amazing.
Hey, Amari Cooper this weekend for the Bills literally goes over to rookie Keon Coleman and says, "What am I running?" And literally in that same play, Josh Allen throws Amari Cooper a touchdown because Keon Coleman says, "You're going to run this. You're going to run that route, bro."
Dude, I lucked out in my other fantasy league. Somebody dropped Amari Cooper when he was still with the Browns, so I just picked him up because I had somebody on my bye week. He gets traded to the Bills. Now, granted, that first half with the Bills game, I was sweating bullets because he has not caught anything to that point.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's going to get
That'll
0
pay off
points
in the
this
long
game.
run.
And Devontae Smith, who did 0.8 points for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Killed me.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I had him
fantasy,
on one of my teams. He killed me.
Yeah.
Go look at our group and see how bad I'm getting whipped by Chris this week. He is beating me by 60 points, and it is not even close. There's no way I'm even going to get close to it.
I'm
My
so
players
upset.
is so bad. It is so bad.
I'm upset with myself because I partly bought into the Kirk Cochains hype and was also getting multiple reports of like, well, the Vikings Lions matchup, you may want to bench Jared Goff because it's going to be a tight game. Kirk Cousins ends up giving me 7 points. Jared Goff gets me 18 on my bench. It's like, God. Yeah. And I'm literally going to lose by like 10 points. It's like, that's all the time.
That's how that goes.
Yeah.
I actually put Goff in over Stroud on my other team. And Stroud had like 40 yards passing yesterday.
Oh.
And Goff went off. And I got Amon-Ra St. Brown too. So I was double dipping. And St. Brown.
Anybody have Jahmyr Gibbs? Anybody have him?
I did.
He went off too.
Yeah.
God. He was literally the leading fantasy leader this weekend as running back.
That long run he had where he's dead leg that dude, man, sent him into the stands so bad, and then outran everybody else. Man, that guy's a beast.
In both drafts, I had to kind of stop myself because I was drafting like 3 Lions players. Like I gotta stop. Yeah. So I'm gonna screw myself.
And their offense is score, man. Their offense,
dude, they're a fun team to watch, man.
Yeah. That's why I got Goff because I knew I had St. Brown. I was like, all right, well, I got Stephon Diggs and Stroud or Goff and St. Brown. So, that's the duo. I decide which quarterback I want to play each week. But I'm glad I went with Goff. I might have to stick with him. Stroud looked really bad.
Goff's a very consistent quarterback. He may not – he's kind of like Mike Evans where he may not put up incredible numbers every week, but he'll always be consistent at least.
Yeah. Then you look at the end of the year and Mike Evans has like 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. And you're like, when did he do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like every time I look at the box score, he had 40 yards receiving on 2 catches or something. And at the end of the year, you look at him and he's got 1,200 yards and 11 TDs or something. And you're like, when? And then like Goff, you look at the end of the year and he's got like 4,400 yards and like 29 or 30 touchdowns. And you're going, when did he do this?
And this is
because Dan Campbell loves his Philly he loves his trick plays like Philly special.
And this is me over here love drafting players like a Chris Godwin, who is my flex, and by the end of the year, to Jeff's point, he'll have like 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. So it's like, what happened? When did this happen?
He's actually the leading wide receiver right now.
Godwin is.
Yeah,
Baker's like second or third overall.
Yes, and he's like the number 1 or 2 quarterback. And unfortunately, in the league that we're not in, or that I'm not in with y'all, I've got Lamar as my starter, who is the number 1 fantasy guy.
What? B. Mayfield passes to M. Evans to the left for 25-yard touchdown.
There we go.
And then in that same league, I have Baker as my my guy sitting on the bench. I was like, couldn't be better, as far as, my 2 fantasy producers. And then in our league, of course, I have Patrick Mahomes, who is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he is doing
terrible
nothing.
year.
Yeah, not a great year. And yet they're 6-0.
An awful year.
6-0.
He has more picks than touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's
so
insane.
I'm highly, I don't know. And I looked at the QBs available, and it's not good. Not good at all.
Sam Darnold might be your best bet.
Who was balling out until his own freaking quarterback puts him out for the season.
Lovely.
And then Mahomes goes, "Oh yeah, I didn't realize I hit him." I was like, "I hope you get AIDS in your mouth. You suck so much." Just like, I hate you so much.
I hope you get AIDS in your mouth. Jeez. What in the world?
That's the new T-shirt, baby. That's the new T-shirt. That's the new sticker going in the back of Parker's car.
It's going there. I hope you get AIDS in your mouth. What the heck?
Awesome.
Oh my God.
Top wide
in your foot? Oh, no, that's not good enough.
No, on your foot? No.
I need it in your mouth, you son of a bitch. Oh goodness, that was awesome. They weren't expecting that. That was too funny.
We're clipping that one.
Cancel. They're gonna cancel Murph now.
Yeah.
All the offended people are gonna come out. America's offended now.
When Maverick doesn't care. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Shut up, Roll Tide, Willie.
About nothing but the Tide, baby.
No, but I really, honestly, I don't know what else to say. Talking about NFL, going to hockey, going to baseball, going to college.
We really covered all the bases, huh?
We really did.
Bama Hoop starts soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, last week we had a little exhibition game with Wake Forest. We won by about 20. Get ready, guys. It's going to be good.
I didn't know Davin Cosby played for Wake Forest. I didn't realize that until I saw.
It was very interesting.
They gave him his ring. They gave him his Final Four thing or something when they played the other night. I didn't realize that he was at Wake. I'd forgotten that. I forgot Nick Pringle was at South Carolina until I saw him interview with him wearing a South Carolina uniform.
I forgot about that too.
So I forgot he's at South Carolina. This team this year at Alabama is going to be pretty good. I mean, the expectations have really never been higher, like ever. So this is going to be a stressful year because basketball expectations are a different animal.
Yes.
I mean, it took me a while to get over that loss in the Sweet 16 with the Brandon Miller team. I mean, that took me a while. And I use that term loosely that I've gotten over it.
Yeah, I think, Brandon Miller was very much a bum me out kind of moment. It was like, man, couldn't.
I love Jeff's tweets about whenever he comes out and says this fan base literally booed him when they drafted him. And I was I know they did. And
they wanted Scoot Henderson.
And guess what? Where's he? I'm waiting.
He sat out that 1 year instead of playing college ball. He either sat out or he went and played the G League or something. Or that professional development league they were talking about for these one and dones, so they don't have to go to college.
Yeah, professional development.
The expectations are going to be high, man. I mean, Marcus Sears was hitting some rainmakers. Aiden Holloway looked pretty good in that exhibition game. Etienne, or not Etienne, but Clifford, the Red Dog. What's his last name?
Yeah, I can't say his last name. I'm really bad at it. I'm not even going to try and pronounce
Big Cliff. Yeah, I mean, he had a nice block, dish, and then caught that oop in transition. Like he
had 12 points, if I'm not mistaken, 10 to 12 points.
Like, I believe this team's really got a legit shot.
Y'all heard?
I think a Final Four.
Last year.
I think a Final Four run is if we don't at least get there, it's a bust.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's hard to win in that tournament. I mean, a lot of Hall of Fame coaches have failed in that tournament. So it's hard to win that tournament, but I believe he got the blueprint from UConn last year of the way he needs to construct a team. And now in basketball, you can just, okay, that's what I need next year. I'm going to go do it right now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of what we said last year.
You don't have to build it 2 years from now and then say, okay, I've got the pieces and here we are. It's like, oh, I need a new center. Okay, you're gone. You're in.
Mhm.
We need to be quicker here and deeper here. You guys are out. You two are in.
It goes back to like playing Grant Nelson out of position. He is no way a 4 or 5. He is a 3 and maybe a 2, but really a 3. And now you've got actually some post presence, which y'all go back to basketball. Y'all go back to the basketball podcast from last year. What was I harping on? You've got to have post presence. You got to have a center. You got to have a power forward who can get up there and just bang with it. Get you 10 points. Get you 12 points. Get you 8 rebounds. That is what you got to have. And I think we got it this year. Now, to everybody's point, it's all up in the air. And then when February comes around, that's when your championship teams are made and they make their run. March, everybody knows what March is. But you know what? I got a lot of faith in this team. I'll say that right now. I do.
I would agree with you. They got it built. I mean, they're deep, fast, athletic, and they got a big man. A legit one.
Couple big men that are on the bench too.
Well, I'm excited to see how this goes. I believe the first game is a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's always usually around Thanksgiving. That's how
Yes.
I know
I think it's
November
about
is when
2-3
they usually
weeks.
start, right?
2
Yeah.
or 3 weeks.
Probably some tournament somewhere, and then we hit that grind of a non-conference.
Yeah, Atlanta's been pushing for more college basketball, which has me excited because if Alabama ever goes one, I am totally buying tickets for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we're playing in BJCC again this year at some point, aren't we?
We
Did I
are.
see that somewhere?
It could be the Christmas tournament, but I don't know.
I forgot about
Gotcha.
Christmas tournament.
Yeah, well, that's it, everyone. I mean, unfortunate Bama loss. Nice World Series looking up. Nice basketball season we're looking forward to. Missouri on Saturday at 2:30 at home. Got to put Tennessee behind us and move on. I mean, we gotta can't lose again.
If you want a chance to the playoffs, you got to win
I
out.
don't see how we're going to go to Baton Rouge and win.
Nope.
But you know,
Yeah.
I don't
just
see it.
seems like no chance. But you know, I've been wrong before. But this is my doom and gloom talking. I just can't see us going in and winning that game at night.
It's almost not even dim and gloom.
Not the current
Yeah.
current construction and the current mindset of the team. If there are changes in places, not saying the quarterback, but maybe quarterback, maybe something, I don't know. You know, Saab being out, that really is a stinger. So it's going to be what is it?
Ray Hubbard
number
time.
18? Hubbard time.
Ray
yeah.
Hubbard time. Time to step up.
So let's see time to step up, next man up. So here we go.
If we could see some type of course correction for this season, and I've made peace with the playoffs chances, and even before the Tennessee game. But if we could see some type of course correction, that would make me feel a lot better about the future.
Agreed.
Yes.
If I see some kind of improvement on that end, and then, even if we were to, lose a couple more games, I just want to see improvement. That's all I care about at this point.
Well, I mean, I feel good about the future. I mean, this is just year one. This is Saban's team. There's a few of Debo's guys he brought with him from Washington. There's some guys he recruited that he kept. That are his.
Year three. I'd be having a much more serious conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of what we said 2 weeks
even
ago.
Year two, but year three, if we're still asking these questions, and yes, there needs to be legit concern. I do not think that'll be the case. The quarterback is not capable of doing what needs to be done to run Debo's true offense, which is, once again, that's not a shot at 4. I mean, he's a great player. He's just not an elite level quarterback. That's all I'm saying. It's not a bad guy. He's not a problem in the locker room. He's not a troubled player. He doesn't have butt heads with nothing like that we've heard. He just can't play the position at the elite level it needs to be played.
In that certain position, in that scheme. I mean, we saw that with Jalen Hurts, okay? We saw it with Jalen Hurts, and he excelled at Oklahoma, and guess what? He's playing on Sundays. You know what? Maybe he finds that guy, or maybe he turns it around this season. And you know what? Whatever the decision is, I'm behind it. I don't care at this point I'm not going to have favorites. I'm not going to say put Ty in, although I think some things need to have a change. But you know what? I'm not the coach. I'm a talking head. That's what I am. But you know what? Yeah. At the end of the day, all I can say is, I love my team. I love my school. And I'm ride or die with them. And I'm not going to jump off because we start losing. That's just the fact of the matter of it. And you know what? All I got to say is roll Tide, boys. That's all I got. Roll Tide.
So, before everybody crowns Ty as if they put Ty in, suddenly we're scoring 60 a game.
No.
It's like, the guy didn't beat out Buckner last year when they benched Milroe. He didn't take the job last year. Whatever Buckner did or whatever the deal was, he didn't start that game. He didn't win the job that game. He didn't beat out Milroe last year or this year.
Politics is what I call it. I think there's certain things on that
Ty's
too.
Going to suddenly be Peyton Manning, and if we just put Ty in, all the problems are solved. That's not fair to put that on him.
No.
But this is the guy that's been here 3 or 4 years and can't win the job. So just remember that.
And not to downplay Sark's decision to pull Ewers out, because I think that does take guts, but you got Arch Manning as your QB2, who's going to lead you next year. That's not the Milroe to Simpson.
He looked like crap.
Yeah,
they had to put Ewers back in because Manning looked so bad.
Yeah, that's Arch's biggest game he's ever played in his life. Yeah, he got thrown into the lion's den. But Arch is still going to have a great career ahead of him. And Simpson might too, but that's not a fair comparison in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. 1,000%. But I know we're in our last.
Ty's not just a spring chicken. I mean, the guy's been here, been through 2 coaches, 3 coordinators, 3 offenses, and hasn't won the job in any of the 3. So there's something lacking there.
Because you look at that too, and what kind of stability as a quarterback do you need to be successful? You had 2, 3 coordinators, Bob, and then Reese, and then now Sheridan. That's a lot of change. It is. And a lot of different schemes, a lot of different stuff. And, I look at it and I'm like, looking at Milroe's perspective too, you've had 3 different coordinators, one of them who said you suck and basically need to be a running back. Now, the confidence level, we talk about this age, and we're approaching up on an hour and 5, and I'll wrap it up. What I say is, you got to just play the best that you got, and then build around that. And then I'm just gonna say, let's just ride with it. And then if Milroe is hurt, let's not hurt him any worse. We got Missouri this weekend. I know they're ranked, and we could possibly lose this game. But for the future of players' health too, got to do some benefit on that too. And even if some other players are hurt too. I mean, it is a game. You got a career. Let's figure it out. Roll Tide. Remember to like and subscribe. That's all I got to say.
Well, and to Ty, Ty's probably not been given a lot of reps with the ones. Probably not been given a fair amount of reps with the ones over the last couple of years. If I was a guessing man, which that's what I am, I'm not sure that he and Milroe had the same 1 reps. But Milroe was the backup before, so Milroe would have had the advantage going in as being the backup the year before. So they may have gone in like that, and Ty never really got fair reps with the ones. So
but also
who knows how he'll do?
Got it back. I think that's what's making it kind of tough.
Yeah, and who knows what he would do in live reps on a consistent basis. Running with the ones and getting timing down with the receivers and the linemen, the cadence and that kind of thing, and them getting used to his cadence and his snap counts and his voice and stuff like that. So. I mean, Debo's got really nothing to lose by rolling the dice. If Milroe really is hurt, let him get healed. Let him heal up. There's no point in risking further injury or more damaging injury for his future prospects, or, for his, his future outlook. So, but if they see these guys in practice every day, they see him in the film room every day, they see him, and that they think that a possibly banged up Milroe gives them a better chance to win than Ty, they're seeing something that we don't. So.
Agreed.
Anyway,
hey, we're just couch QBs, right? That's all we
couch
are.
QBs
couch
with eyeballs
QBs.
and opinions. That's all we got.
Woo!
So a week from now, we could come in here talking about how Missouri ran us out of the stadium.
I hope not, but you know what?
Maybe not. Who knows?
I hope
know
not.
it's year one, but how depressing.
It'd be really bad.
I don't want to think about that, but who knows?
Such is life.
Who knows?
We will.
You boys got anything else before we sign off for the week?
Good chat.
Tune in Thursday if the Way Offsides guys are going on 8 o'clock.
Way Offsides Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
We got Nick Kelly from is it 24/7 Sports or BOL? He was with Tuscaloosa News. Now he's with 24/7 or something. I can't remember, but he's the beat writer for Alabama for whatever that website he works for. So he's actually going to be on Tuesday, or Thursday.
And remember to go on Twitter and see the conversation between, was it Cotton or was it Chris, between him and Clint Lamb today?
It was Cotton.
Or yesterday.
Good.
Cotton. Very good conversation. Very good. If y'all are big sports fans, college football fans, it literally it goes into some good questions. So yeah, that's all I got on that.
All right, boys. Well, hope everybody has a good week. Roll Tide. Go Yankees. See you guys later.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.